What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of JoesTech. I just want to let you guys know in advance, I'm getting over a little bit of a cold, so bear with me. I know my voice is a little annoying right now, but we're going to get through this. For those of you guys who don't know, this week, of course, is the week of CES, so there's a lot of cool stuff coming out. I'm obviously not going to the show, and that's why I'm here, back at home, making some videos, but luckily I was allowed to get a little bit of insight from Corsairs, you guys can see behind me. They have some cool stuff that's coming out at the show, and they were able to send me a couple of samples in advance to share with you guys. So we have a lot to cover. We're going to pretty much just hammer through all the new mice that they have launching at the show. Maybe one of them you might have seen already, but let's go ahead and dive in and see what we're going to be looking at. First on the list, we have the M65 RGB Elite, and this might look familiar to you guys, and that's because obviously this is a remake of the original M65 Pro. Basically what Corsair did here is they took that M65 that they released earlier, and it was such a success, they looked at thousands of reviews and looked at all the little tweaks that they could make to make the mouse that much better, and that's exactly what they did. The new M65 RGB Elite is equipped with what Corsair is calling the most accurate gaming grade optical sensor. This new sensor is rated with a native 18,000 DPI. The M65 RGB Elite has on-the-fly presets which can be modified using the IQ software, and can be adjusted using the toggles on the top side of the mouse. This mouse is rated with a 1 millisecond polling rate, which will provide a lag-free experience, of course. Looking at the bottom of the mouse, you can see they've also gone to an exposed, durable, anodized aluminum frame, which we've been kind of seeing a lot recently with the K70 Mark II, along with some of the other newer keyboards. Just like we saw in the previous model, the new M65 RGB Elite does have an advanced tunable weight system if you'd like to add for an improved grip or drop weight to the low 97 gram mark. This variant from Corsair comes equipped with 8 fully programmable buttons and ultra durable arm-on switches with a minimum 50 million rated click life, which you'll notice we also have on the other mice we're going to be looking at today. Here we're going to do a quick click test if you guys want to hear what the buttons sound like. For those of you guys who aren't familiar with the M65, the main differentiator here is going to be that sniper button on the side of the mouse. Basically what that's going to do is allow you to slow the DPI down significantly, take a long shot or a snipe, and then release the button and you go back to that regular higher DPI setting that allows you to kind of move around quickly and that you're used to. For those of you guys who are RGB fans like myself, the M65 is equipped with dual zone dynamic RGB, which basically will add you a little bit of customization around the scroll wheel and of course the sales logo on the palm side of the mouse. All customizations you make to the RGB and of course macros if you're adding those or customizations to the additional buttons on the mouse can be done in Corsair's IQ software. And the nice thing about this mouse is that it does have onboard memory. So basically if you make those changes in the software and then you maybe want to disable the software for future use, if it's slowing down your computer, or maybe you just want to take the mouse on the go to a tournament, it'll keep those settings on the mouse and you don't have to worry about reconfiguring them every time you plug in the mouse. The quality of this M65 RGB Elite is really nice. I'm a huge fan of the exposed aluminum on the outside, although I would say for me the mouse is a little bit small. I know that this is a really popular mouse, and so it's probably gonna work well with the majority of people. I just wish for my grip that the sniper button was moved a little bit further back, but I definitely don't think that that's a deal breaker. It's just if I was gonna be using this in like tournament play or something like that, it would be something to consider. If you guys are interested in checking this M65 RGB Elite or any of the other mice out today, I'm going to be putting links down in the description, of course. But this is the white variant, and of course there's a black variant available as well. They're both priced at $59 US and should be available today. On that note, we're going to be moving on to the second mouse of the day, which is the Harpoon RGB Wireless. The Harpoon RGB is equipped with a 10,000 DPI sensor, which seems more than reasonable for a wireless mouse. If you plan to use this mouse wirelessly, you'll need the USB adapter, which is on the bottom side of the mouse behind a flip open door. There is actually 3 methods of connection with this mouse. The first, of course, is wired, plugging in the provided USB cable, which is a nice braided quality. And it seems to fit securely into the mouse so that you don't have to worry about it breaking off. The second is Corsair's 2.4 gigahertz slipstream wireless technology, which allows for sub 1 millisecond latency. And then finally, there is the Bluetooth method, and as you guys can see on the bottom side of the mouse, there is a toggle switch that allows you to flip between the multiple methods. The Harpoon is rated with up to 60 hours of battery life, but if you're in the middle of an important gaming session and you lose the battery, you can of course switch to USB and charge it while you are charging on. Just note, if you plan to use Slipstream Wireless for maximum wireless performance, your battery life will go down to about 45 hours and 30 hours if you plan to use the RGB effects that are on board. Speaking of RGB again, we of course have the option to customize the RGB effects on the sales logo near the palm of the mouse, all of which can be handled in the iCUE software again. As mentioned previously, this mouse is also equipped with the 50 million click Omron switches, and on board you'll find 6 fully programmable macro keys. We'll go ahead and put a click sample in here. All programmable buttons and RGB effects again can be stored in the onboard memory of this mouse. If you guys wanted to do that, you just put all your customizations in again in iCUE, transfer that stuff over to the mouse, and at that point you should be good to go. I think the onboard memory is really key with the Harpoon RGB because of the fact that it's a wireless mouse, and I think a lot of people may go with this style mouse if they are doing mobile gaming or if they have a gaming laptop. You don't want to have to plug in your mouse every time you want to make a change. Being that the Harpoon is wireless, Corsair has implemented a LED in the button just below your scroll wheel, and this LED of course moves from green to amber to red, and a few extra variations to tell you when your battery is full, halfway drained, or in need of immediate charging. You'll notice the same indicator will change between 5 colors when you click in order to distinguish one of the 5 stages, as I mentioned a second ago, configured for DPI customizations. This will help you keep track of what DPI setting you're on if you're in the middle of a game and maybe you want to change the sensitivity for a certain task. You can follow that guideline to make those changes. One thing that I was kind of hoping for with the Harpoon RGB was the wireless Qi charging that we saw come with the MM1000 a few months ago. I think that this mouse is more made for mobile gaming because it does have a little bit smaller of a footprint, so they didn't implement that Qi charging ability. It would have been nice, but I don't think that it's a deal breaker. Another thing that's worth mentioning is that the Harpoon RGB does have a lithium polymer battery, which is going to be a little bit lighter, I think, than a couple of AA's like we've seen in other wireless mice, and that's what also allowed them to get the weight down to 99 grams on this mouse. Lastly, the Harpoon RGB is available in black only, as we have here in the sample unit, and it's priced right at $49 US. Finally, the last mouse we're going to be looking at today is the Ironclaw RGB. The main focus of this mouse is to be a FPS/MOBA mouse. I could easily see it being good for both. The first thing you'll notice is the larger palm grip and the footprint of this mouse. Visually it looks large, but if you've got larger hands like myself, it feels amazing. The Ironclaw RGB is equipped with the same sensor we saw in the M65 Elite, boasting a native 18,000 DPI sensor. On the left side there, you'll see those 3 LED indicators, which will show you which preset level of sensitivity you currently have selected. The default levels can always be adjusted within the iCUE software if you feel like you need to make those adjustments to help you game better. The Ironclaw RGB is equipped with 7 fully programmable buttons for key remaps or macros. Again, this third option from Corsair also has those Omron switches with the 50 million click life rating as well. So why don't we go ahead and do a quick audio sample. RGB is also available in 2 zones on this mouse, again on the scroll wheel and of course on the Corsair sales logo, more toward the palm rest of the mouse. Of course, like the other options we looked at today, the Ironclaw RGB has the same onboard memory, allowing you to store all those macros or RGB setting changes you're making on the mouse when it's unplugged or the software's not running. The feel of the Ironclaw is probably the most comfortable to me out of the 3 mice that we looked at today, but it does have that really big footprint, and of course it's weighing in at like right around 105 grams, so it's the heaviest mouse that we've looked at, but it might just be something for you guys to consider. One other thing that isn't really important but would be nice is maybe if Corsair would consider doing an Elite model of the Ironclaw RGB. I really like the look of that exposed aluminum that we saw in the M65, and of course in this model it still has a nice look, but it's more plasticky than it is exposed aluminum, and so for that reason it would be nice just to maybe have an option. Finally, the Ironclaw is available in just black as of right now, and it's available for $59 US. All of the mice we looked at today have a nice premium feel. You know, I like that they have that braided cabling on all of the new peripherals that they've been putting out. They also have those nice heavy-duty USB connections that have, like, you know, the nice rubberized grips. It just adds a little bit of flair, and you know, I can really appreciate the quality that they're kind of putting out with all of these new peripherals. Of course, I didn't see anything that was calling my name for quality issues, but if you guys are worried about it, there is a 2-year warranty that comes included with all 3 of these mice. The last thing we really have to add into the review today, maybe you guys saw it in the video, are these new gigantic mouse pads that Corsair is coming out with, which are the MM350 Extended XL and the MM350 XL. The mouse pad we have in the video today is the Extended XL edition. It's 930 millimeters by 400 millimeters by 5 millimeters. I didn't receive any information from Corsair on what those guys would be priced out at, but I'll go ahead and leave links again to everything down in the description below. All the mice, all the mouse pads, all that good stuff. The only thing I want to ask of you guys is let me know if you guys were picking one of these mice. Let me know down in the comment section below. Which one would you pick? Why would you pick it? Would you not pick any of them? Tell me what it is. If you have any questions, feedback, concerns, always happy to hear that stuff down there as well. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up on the way out. And of course, if you guys want to see more tech videos like this in the future, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, guys, thanks for sticking with me. This has been JoesTech. I'll see you in the next video.